Once, the great sage Narad Muni, on his travels, met a Brahmin. This Brahmin was a very scholarly personality who was fully immersed in regular reading of the scriptures. Though he was very arrogant, the Brahmin asked Narad Muni, "My dear sir, where are you headed towards?" Narad Muni replied, "I am going to meet the Supreme Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha." Narad Muni asks the Brahmin, "Do you have some message for the Lord?" So the Brahmin replies, "Please ask him that when will myself become eligible to come to the spiritual world Vaikuntha? Will I be allowed in Vaikuntha at the end of this life?" He asked. Narad Muni said, "Yes, I will certainly ask." Narad Muni later on goes to meet a cobbler. The simple cobbler who was performing his duty, his occupational duty of fixing shoes, asks Narad Muni, "Oh my dear sir, where are you headed towards?" Narad Muni says, "Oh, I am going towards Vaikuntha to meet the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Do you have some message?" So to this the cobbler replies, "Please ask my lord, when will this insignificant soul be allowed entry into the divine realm of Vaikuntha?" Narad Muni reaches Vaikuntha and he asks the Supreme Lord, "My dear Lord, I met this Brahmin and I also met this cobbler." The Brahmin was asking when will he be allowed to Vaikuntha, and so was the cobbler. What reply should I give them? So to this the Supreme Lord Vishnu replies that the Brahmin will take a long time to come to Vaikuntha, many lifetimes, whereas the cobbler at the end of this life, he will surely come. To this Narad Muni was surprised. He said, "The Brahmin is performing all the rituals and doing so much of Vedic study. Still you say that he is not eligible to enter into Vaikuntha? Whereas the cobbler, who is just a simpleton, doesn't perform any rituals, is eligible to come to Vaikuntha? How is this so?" Supreme Lord Vishnu asks you what I was doing. You reply them that I was passing an elephant through the eye of a needle. And then you will understand why I mentioned this. The scholar asks Narad Muni, what was the Lord doing in Vaikuntha when you went to meet him? So Narad Muni replied, when I went to Vaikuntha, the Lord was passing an elephant through the eye of a needle. The scholar said, how is that possible? Surely he cannot be doing that. When Narad Muni heard this, he said, the Lord has replied to your question as to when you will be allowed into Vaikuntha. He has said that you will take many more lifetimes. Saying this, Narad Muni goes to the cobbler. And the cobbler asks Narad Muni, what was my Lord doing when you arrived at Vaikuntha? So Narad Muni replied, the Lord was passing an elephant through the eye of a needle. When cobbler heard this, he said, oh, how great my Lord is. It is not surprising that he can do such a wonderful act. Narad Muni asked him, why do you say so? The cobbler said, I have been doing my duty of repairing shoes and footwear under this banyan tree, and I very much notice that how the Lord has compressed the entire banyan tree in such small banyan seeds. It is not surprising that he can pass an elephant through the eye of a needle. On hearing this reply from the cobbler, Narad Muni said that now it makes sense as to why the Lord said that you would enter into Vaikuntha at the end of this life. It is because you have such unflinching faith on the Supreme Lord that the Lord certainly is pleased with you, and without doubt at the end of this life you will attain Vaikuntha. We learn through this story the power of faith. So we may be performing all the rituals very expertly and very accurately, but it is of no use if we lack the faith. Whereas if we have the faith, anything that we are doing with faith surely will give the best result as we get blessings and mercy from the Lord. As they say, it is faith that moves mountains. They say it is faith that makes the world go around. So let us build this faith by taking more and more association of those who have faith in the Supreme Lord, and thus make our life stress-free and blissful. Hare Krishna.